Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself stuck in a moment where everything just felt heavy, like your mind was dragging through mud, your energy was flat, and even the simplest tasks felt impossible? We've all been there. But what separates those who stay stuck from those who rise, those who break through and live with power and passion is one simple, undeniable truth: they have mastered their state. And when you master your state, you master your life. Your state is the way you feel in any given moment. It's your emotional home, it's your energy, your focus, your body, and your mind, all coming together to create how you experience life in this instant. And here's the kicker: your state is the gateway to your mindset. If you're feeling low, tired, and defeated, you're going to think low, tired, and defeated thoughts. You're going to make low, tired, and defeated decisions. But if you shift your state, if you take charge of your physiology, your focus, and your language, you can turn everything around in seconds. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that when you're excited, when you're passionate, when you're on fire for life, your problems seem smaller, your obstacles seem conquerable? You don't need to fake confidence. You are confidence. You don't need to talk yourself into courage. You are courage. It's not some magical moment. That's state, and you have the power to create it at will. Most people walk through life thinking their emotions just happen to them, that they're victims of circumstance, that they feel good when things go right and bad when things go wrong. But I'm here to tell you, you are not a creature of circumstance. You are the creator of your life. You are the architect of your future. You don't have to wait for life to hand you a reason to feel good. You can choose to feel good now. You can choose to feel powerful now. And that begins by shifting your state. How do you do it? It starts with your body. Your physiology is the fastest way to change how you feel. You can't be depressed with your shoulders back, your chest out, breathing deep, moving with energy and purpose. Try to feel defeated while standing tall, smiling wide, and breathing like a warrior. You can't. Your body is the remote control to your emotions. If you want to change the channel, you don't wait for something to happen. You move, you breathe, you take control. When you're stuck in a negative state, the first thing to do is get out of your head and into your body. Jump up, shake it out. Take 10 deep breaths. Like you mean it. Stand like a champion, move like a leader. Energy is created by motion. You don't wait to feel energy, you create it through movement. Even a 2-minute power move can shift you from hopeless to unstoppable. That's not hype, that's science. And it doesn't stop with your body. It's also about where you put your focus. Your focus determines your feelings. Where focus goes, energy flows. If you focus on what's missing, what's wrong, what's painful, your energy is going to sink. But if you focus on what's possible, what's beautiful, what's strong in you and around you, you can't help but feel alive. You can't help but feel hope. You can't help but feel the fire light back up inside you. Ask yourself better questions. Instead of why is this happening to me, ask what can I learn from this? Instead of why am I stuck, ask what's my next move? Your mind is like Google. Ask it a lousy question, you'll get a lousy answer. But ask an empowering question and your brain will give you a gift. It will show you the path. It will find the strength you forgot you had. And then there's the language you use. The words you speak to yourself are the commands you give your mind. Say, I'm exhausted. I'm overwhelmed. I can't do this. And your body will obey. But say, I've got this. I am strong. I am resourceful. I am relentless. And your mind will listen. Words shape reality. Speak with power and you create power. Now, I'm not saying you're never going to have negative emotions again. Life happens, challenges come. But you have the power to decide how long you stay there. You have the power to shift in a heartbeat. It doesn't take days or hours. It takes a decision, a moment, a choice to stand up, to move, to focus, to speak differently. You can't always control what happens around you. And that's where your true power lives. Think of the greatest athletes, leaders, and game changers you admire. They don't live without fear or doubt, but they've trained themselves to shift their state quickly. to step into courage, certainty, and strength at the moment they need it most. That's not luck, that's mastery. And you can have it too. It's a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The more you practice shifting your state, the easier it becomes. Eventually, it's who you are. Every time life throws something at you, and it will, you have a choice. You can shrink back, or you can stand up. You can spiral down, or you can rise. You can stay stuck in your head, or you can get into your body, take command, and get back in the driver's seat of your life. So when you wake up and you don't feel like it, shift your state. When fear whispers that you're not enough, shift your state. When the world says you can't, shift your state. Move, breathe, focus, speak, and watch your world transform in real time. This isn't about motivation. This is about identity. This is about becoming the kind of person who doesn't wait to feel good, who chooses to lead themselves first, who chooses to control their life by mastering their state. You want an unbreakable mindset? You want to overcome those negative feelings when they come knocking? It starts here. Master your state, control your life. The power is already inside you. You don't need to find it, you need to unleash it. And when you do, you won't just feel better, you'll become unstoppable. You'll show the world and yourself what you're truly made of. Your life is a direct reflection of the beliefs you hold about yourself and the world around you. Every action you take, every decision you make, every emotion you experience, it all stems from the beliefs that have taken root in your mind. Beliefs are the guiding force of human behavior. They shape our identity, they drive our destiny. If you want an unbreakable mindset, if you want to overcome the storms of negativity and step into a life of power and certainty, you must feed your mind with purposeful beliefs. Beliefs that build you, beliefs that drive you, beliefs that make you unstoppable. And here's the truth most people miss. Beliefs are not facts. They are not carved in stone. They are feelings of certainty about what something means. Two people can experience the exact same situation and interpret it in completely different ways. One sees failure, the other sees feedback. One sees rejection, the other sees redirection. What makes the difference? Their beliefs, the lens through which they see the world. And the lens is something you can change, something you must change if you're serious about mastering your mind and living life on your terms. But first, you have to become aware of what's already planted in the garden of your mind. What beliefs are running the show right now? Are they beliefs that empower you, that fill you with energy and excitement and possibility? Or are they beliefs that limit you, chain you, keep you playing small and holding back? Most people are walking around with outdated, disempowering beliefs they never chose consciously, beliefs they picked up from parents who were struggling, from teachers who didn't understand them, from society that told them to stay in line, and they wonder why they feel stuck. They wonder why they keep hitting the same wall over and over. You've got to take responsibility for the beliefs you allow to live inside you, because here's the deal. Whatever you repeat to yourself long enough, you'll start to believe. And once you believe it, it becomes your reality. If you keep telling yourself you're not enough, that it's too late, that you don't have what it takes, your mind will find every reason to prove you right. But if you feed your mind beliefs like, I am capable, I am resilient, I was made for more, your mind will go to work proving that right instead. You've heard the saying, you are what you eat. Well, you are also what you feed your mind. And most people are living on a mental diet of junk food. They consume negativity, fear, doubt, limitation. They watch the news for hours, scroll social media comparing themselves to others, listen to people who've given up on their dreams tell them what's possible. And they wonder why they're anxious. They wonder why they feel stuck. It's because they've been feeding their minds garbage, and garbage in always leads to garbage out. If you want to create a powerful, unbreakable mindset, you've got to feed your mind like a champion. You've got to flood yourself with beliefs that serve you, beliefs that energize you, beliefs that keep you moving forward even when things get tough. You've got to be intentional about what you allow in. What you focus on is what you feel. What you feel shapes what you do, and what you do determines your destiny. It all starts with belief. And beliefs aren't something you wait for, they're something you create. You choose them, you reinforce them, you install them by repetition, by emotion, by action. You decide right now what you want to believe about yourself, about life, about what's possible. And you act as if it's already true. Because when you act in alignment with the belief long enough, it stops being something you do and starts being who you are. You have to make this personal. This isn't about repeating positive affirmations like a robot. This is about planting purposeful beliefs that resonate in your gut. Beliefs that are true to your core values. If you don't believe them yet, that's okay. You keep conditioning them until they become real. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what's imagined vividly and what's real. That's why elite athletes visualize themselves winning again and again until it becomes automatic. You can do the same thing with your beliefs. See it, feel it, live it. Imagine waking up every day with the belief that you're here for a purpose bigger than yourself. Imagine believing without a shadow of a doubt that you can handle anything life throws your way. That setbacks are setups for comebacks. That failure is feedback. That you were born with everything you need to create a life of meaning, of passion, of impact. How different would your life look if you lived from those beliefs instead of the ones that tell you you're not ready, not worthy, not enough? You are always becoming what you believe. If you want to change your life, you change your beliefs first. And that starts by feeding your mind with new information, new role models, new experiences. Read the books that stretch your thinking. Listen to the voices that challenge you to grow. Surround yourself with people who believe in possibility, who live with courage, who hold you to a higher standard. Every day, you've got to flood your mind with empowering ideas, empowering language, empowering stories. Because the world isn't going to do it for you. The world is full of people who've settled, people who will project their own limitations onto you. You've got to stand guard at the door of your mind. Be relentless about what you allow in. If it doesn't serve you, strengthen you, inspire you. Don't give it space. And if you slip up, if you catch yourself spiraling into old beliefs, old patterns, old stories, catch it fast, interrupt it, replace it. Flood it with a belief that drives you forward instead of holds you back. This is the work. This is the practice. And yes, it's work. It's uncomfortable at first, but over time, it becomes who you are. You rewire your brain. You carve out new pathways of possibility. You build new emotional muscles. And the stronger those beliefs get, the more natural it feels to act from them. Until one day you look back, and the person who doubted, who feared, who held back, that person is gone, replaced by someone powerful, someone focused, someone unbreakable. So right now, ask yourself, what beliefs do I need to let go of? What beliefs no longer serve me, and what new beliefs must I plant, nurture, and grow if I'm going to become the person I'm meant to be? Choose them, write them down, repeat them with emotion and certainty. Feel them in your body, and then live them. Take action from them. Because when your actions match your beliefs, you create momentum. And momentum builds confidence. And confidence fuels belief even deeper. It becomes a cycle of power that no one can take from you. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not what anyone else told you is possible. You are what you believe right now in this moment, and you get to choose what that is. Feed your mind with purposeful beliefs, and you'll shape a life beyond anything you thought possible. That is the power you hold, and that is the power that will make you unstoppable. There comes a time in your life when you have to draw a line in the sand and say enough. Enough settling, enough tolerating less than you deserve, enough living below your potential. If you want to create a life that's extraordinary, if you want to develop a mind that's unbreakable, you can't do it by aiming for average. You can't do it by lowering your standards to fit your circumstances. You have to raise your standards so high they pull you into the life you're destined for. Your standards are the blueprint of your life. They shape everything. What you tolerate, what you pursue, what you settle for, and what you demand from yourself. And when you raise them, you transform not only what you do, but who you are. Most people think they're held back by their resources. They think they need more time, more money, more connections, more education. But resources are never the problem. It's a lack of resourcefulness that keeps people stuck. And the fastest way to tap into your true resourcefulness is to raise your standards. When you decide that something is no longer acceptable in your life, when you make a demand of yourself that you be more, do more, become more, you wake something up inside you. You wake up your true identity. And that identity is who you really are, not the version you've been settling for. We all get our identity from the standards we set. Every single day, you're acting in alignment with who you believe you are. If you identify as someone who's disciplined, you'll find a way to stick to your commitments even when it's hard. If you identify as someone who's lazy or inconsistent, you'll find a way to sabotage yourself even when things are going well. Your identity shapes your actions, but your actions reinforce your identity. It's a loop, and you get to choose where that loop takes you. Raise your standards, and you force your identity to level up. You create a new story about who you are, and you start living into it. Think about an area of your life where you're thriving. Maybe it's your career, your relationships, your health. Now ask yourself why. Chances are you have high standards in that area. There are things you simply won't accept. You won't accept showing up late. You won't accept giving less than your best. You won't accept disrespect from yourself or anyone else. And because you've drawn that line in the sand, your identity in that area is rock solid. It's who you are. You don't have to think about it, you just live it. But what about the areas where you're struggling, where you're not making progress? That's where your standards have slipped. That's where you've let yourself tolerate things you know aren't acceptable, but you've made them okay. You've softened the edges. You've convinced yourself that it's just for now, or it's not so bad, but deep down you know. You know you were made for more. And until you raise your standards in that area, nothing's going to change. Change doesn't happen when you kind of want it. Change happens when you absolutely must have it, when you decide that nothing less will do. And here's the truth. Raising your standards isn't about becoming something you're not. It's about becoming who you really are. It's about stripping away the excuses, the limitations, the old stories that have kept you small and stepping into your true identity. The identity of someone who demands more from themselves, who shows up fully, who plays all out every day, not because they have to, but because they wouldn't accept anything less. When I say raise your standards, I don't mean raise them when it's convenient. I mean make them non-negotiable. Decide what's no longer acceptable in your life and never settle again. If you want an unbreakable mindset, you can't afford to dip in and out of commitment. You have to decide who you are and live it every single day, no matter what's happening around you. The world will throw distractions at you. Life will test you. People will doubt you. None of that matters. What matters is the standard you hold yourself to when no one's watching. Because at the end of the day, your standards aren't for anyone else. They're for you. They're the mirror you look into when you're alone with your thoughts. Are you proud of the person staring back at you? Did you live today like the person you know you can be? Or did you let yourself slide? Did you lower the bar because it was easier, because you were tired, because no one would know? You always know. And that's why your standards are so powerful. They're not about perfection, they're about integrity. They're about honoring the highest version of yourself every single day. So how do you do it? How do you raise your standards in a way that sticks? You start by getting clear on your vision. What do you want your life to look like? Who do you want to be? Not someday, right now. Paint that picture in vivid detail. Feel it, own it, and then ask yourself, what standards does that person live by? What do they say yes to? What do they say no to? How do they treat their body, their mind, their relationships? How do they handle adversity? And once you have those answers, you commit. Not in theory, but in action. You don't wait until you feel like it, you act now. You make the tough decisions, you have the hard conversations, you push through the resistance, and every time you do, you reinforce your new identity. You tell yourself, this is who I am now, this is how I live, this is what I expect, and it gets easier. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. your new identity becomes second nature. And before long, the things that used to feel hard are just part of who you are. You have to make raising your standards a daily practice. This isn't a one-time decision. It's a lifestyle. It's a moment-to-moment choice. And it's not always easy. You'll have days when you want to go back to your old ways, when you want to take the easy path, but those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments when you get to prove to yourself that you are unbreakable, that you've raised your standards and you're not going back. And here's the beautiful part. When you raise your standards, everything else starts to change. You attract better opportunities, better relationships, better outcomes. Not because you're lucky, but because you're living at a higher level. People feel it, they sense your energy, your commitment, your certainty, and they respond. The world makes room for people who know who they are and what they stand for. But it starts with you. It starts with the internal shift, the decision to raise your standards, change your identity, and never settle for less again. So right now, decide. Decide what you're no longer willing to tolerate. Decide who you need to become. Decide what your new standards are and commit to them with everything you've got. Because when you raise your standards, you change your identity. And when you change your identity, you change your life. There's a moment in everyone's life where the pain feels like it's too much. It's the moment when you're brought to your knees, when the weight feels unbearable, when everything you thought was certain suddenly crumbles beneath you. We've all been there. Some people stay there. They stay stuck in the suffering, stuck in the story of why life isn't fair, stuck in the belief that their pain defines them. But there are others who decide that pain will not be the end of their story. They decide that pain will become their fuel, their fire, their power. That's the difference between people who are broken by life and people who become unbreakable. It's what they do with the pain. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. What you do with pain, that's where the power lies. You can run from it, hide from it, numb it, distract yourself, try to push it down. But you know this, it always comes back. Pain is a messenger. It's there to wake you up, to get your attention. And if you listen, if you lean into it instead of running from it, it can become the very thing that transforms you into who you were always meant to be. The greatest growth often comes from the greatest pain, but only if you choose it. Only if you decide that your story isn't going to be about what broke you, but about what built you. Think about a time in your life when you were in the most pain. Emotional pain, physical pain, it doesn't matter. Maybe you lost someone you loved. Maybe you failed spectacularly at something you cared about. Maybe you were betrayed. Maybe you were the one who made a decision that caused damage. Whatever it was, I want you to look at it differently now. I want you to see it not as something that happened to you, but something that happened for you. Not because it was fair, not because it was easy, but because there's power in taking control of the meaning. The meaning you give to your pain is the meaning you give to your life. You can decide it broke you. You can decide you're a victim, and you will live that story. You will attract more proof that you were right. Or you can decide that pain was your turning point, that it woke you up, that it gave you strength, wisdom, compassion you never would have found otherwise, that it forged you into someone who doesn't break, into someone who bends, yes, who feels, yes, but who uses it, who rises because of it. That's power. That's freedom. You have to change the meaning. You have to change the story. Because if you don't, the pain controls you. It becomes your identity. And when pain becomes identity, you can't grow. You're stuck in a loop, reliving the same emotions, the same experiences over and over again. But when you shift the meaning, when you decide that this pain has given you something, clarity, strength, a deeper connection to others, you take your power back. You're no longer at the mercy of what happened. You're the author of what happens next. I know this isn't always easy, especially when the pain cuts deep, especially when it feels like everything's been ripped away from you. But it's in those moments you have to make the decision, will this break me or will I break through? Will this be the reason I give up or will it be the reason I rise? The human spirit is unbreakable when we decide it is. You've already survived things you thought you wouldn't. You've already proven that you're stronger than you think. This moment right now is where you choose to use it. Pain can become the ultimate fuel. Some of the most successful people in the world, the people you admire, they didn't get there because life was easy. They got there because they took their deepest wounds and turned them into their greatest reasons. They took what should have destroyed them and turned it into the thing that drove them. They turned pain into hunger, into fire, into focus, and they never looked back. They didn't let the pain harden them. They let it deepen them. They let it open them up to life in a way they never would have known otherwise. The same power is inside you right now. You just have to make the decision. And then you have to act. Not later, not when it feels comfortable, now. Because waiting changes nothing. Action changes everything. What's one action you can take right now to turn your pain into power? Maybe it's forgiving someone, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Maybe it's taking responsibility for your own healing instead of waiting for someone else to make it right. Maybe it's deciding to share your story to help someone else find their strength in the middle of their struggle. Whatever it is, you already know. Deep down, you already know. The pain was never meant to paralyze you. It was meant to propel you, but only if you let it. Only if you trust that life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Even the painful parts, especially the painful parts, because that's where the gold is. That's where you find out who you really are, not in the easy moments, not when everything's going your way, but when you're tested, when you have every reason to quit and you don't. That's where unbreakable is forged. This is your moment. You can live in the pain or you can rise from it. You can tell the story of how life did you wrong, or you can tell the story of how you took control and made your life mean something. It's your choice, and you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know the whole plan. You just have to take the first step. You just have to decide that today is the day you turn pain into power, and when you do that, something shifts. You're no longer afraid of pain. You stop running from it because you know that whatever comes your way, you'll use it. You'll harness it. You'll grow stronger from it. And that makes you unstoppable. That makes you unbreakable. Life isn't about avoiding pain. It's about learning how to use it, to shape you, to strengthen you, to elevate you. You have everything you need already inside you. You've always had it. The question is, are you ready to use it? Are you ready to turn your deepest pain into your greatest power? Because when you do, you don't just change your life, you inspire others to change theirs. You show them what's possible, you give them hope. There's no greater gift than that. This is your time. This is your story. And you get to decide how it ends. You can dream all day, you can visualize, you can journal, you can meditate, you can sit in silence and ask the universe to send you a sign. But until you get up and move, until you take action, massive, relentless, unstoppable action, nothing changes. Nothing. The life you want, the mindset you need, the breakthroughs you're hungry for, they don't come to people who sit and wait. They come to the ones who are willing to get up again and again, to put themselves on the line, to take bold, imperfect, relentless action every single day, whether they feel like it or not. This is where people get stuck. They think about change, they talk about change, they get all fired up at events or while reading a book, and in that moment they feel unstoppable. But when it's time to act, when it's time to execute, they hesitate, they wait until it's the right time. They want certainty before they take the first step. They wait until they feel motivated, but here's the truth that sets people free. You don't need motivation to take action. You need action to create motivation. When you move, when you act, you generate energy. When you commit to massive action, you create momentum. And momentum is what changes everything. We all know people who are addicted to learning but allergic to doing. They have shelves filled with books. Their playlists are jam-packed with podcasts. They can recite all the theories, all the methods, but they're not living it. Why? Because they haven't made the decision to act. Information is worthless without action. Knowledge is potential power, but action is real power. The difference between people who dream and people who create is simple. Action. Massive, consistent action. Not when it's easy, not when you're in the mood, but as a non-negotiable way of life. Doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter how small your steps are at first. What matters is that you move, that you decide you are done waiting for life to happen to you and you're ready to take control. Action builds belief. When you take that first step, you prove to yourself that you can. And every time you act, that belief gets stronger. You create evidence that you're capable. You build a case in your mind that you're the kind of person who follows through, and suddenly you're not just hoping for change, you're creating it. But it's not just about taking action once in a while, it's about consistency. Consistency creates mastery. Consistency separates the dabblers from the people who lead, the people who dominate, the people who live at a completely different level. And consistency isn't about perfection. You don't have to get it right every single time. You don't have to have flawless execution. You just have to keep showing up day after day, especially on the days you don't feel like it. Because those are the days that define you. Those are the days that separate the people who say they want it from the people who get it. When you commit to massive, consistent action, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop letting your feelings decide your future. You become the person who does what needs to be done no matter what. And that kind of certainty, that kind of discipline becomes who you are. It's not just what you do, it's your identity. You are a person who takes action. You are a person who moves. You are a person who makes things happen. And when you own that identity, you stop waiting for the right circumstances. You create them. You see, life rewards action. When you move, things happen. Opportunities show up. People take notice. Resources come your way. But none of it happens if you stay stuck in your head, stuck in indecision, stuck in overthinking. Clarity comes through action. Confidence comes through action. Growth comes through action. And the faster you move, the faster you learn. You don't have to have it all figured out before you start. Start messy, start scared, start before you're ready, and adjust along the way. But for God's sake, start. There's no such thing as failure when you're committed to action. There's only feedback. Every action you take gives you information. What worked, what didn't, what needs to change. You can't course correct if you're standing still. You can only adjust when you're in motion. And when you're constantly in motion, when you're consistently taking action, you build something even more powerful than success. You build resilience. You build the kind of grit and strength that makes you unstoppable, because you know that no matter what happens, you'll keep moving forward. And don't wait for the big opportunities. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for certainty. Start with what you have where you are right now. Do what you can with what you've got. The small actions matter. The little decisions you make every day compound. They build momentum, and momentum compounds into results you can't even imagine right now. But it all starts with the decision to act. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. You want an unbreakable mindset? You want unstoppable confidence? You want a life that makes you jump out of bed in the morning because you can't wait to live it? Commit to massive, consistent action. Not when it's convenient, not when the stars align. Every single day, no excuses, no exceptions, because when you act with that level of commitment, you start to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, there's nothing you can't do. This isn't about hustle for the sake of hustle. This is about living fully alive. It's about knowing that you are squeezing everything out of life, leaving nothing on the table. It's about honoring your potential, honoring your gifts, honoring the fact that you are here to create, to build, to serve, to lead. And none of that happens without action. Dreams die in hesitation. They die in procrastination. They die in overthinking. But they come alive in action. They come alive when you move. The decision is always yours. You can choose to sit back and watch other people live the life you want, or you can get in the game. You can decide that you will not be denied, that you will take action, massive action, consistent action, until you get what you came for, until you become the person you were meant to be, until you create the life you were born for. And when you live this way, you inspire others to do the same. You show them what's possible. You give them permission to dream bigger, to act bolder, to believe in something more. But it starts with you. It starts with your decision, your commitment, your action. So what are you waiting for? The time is now, not tomorrow, not when it feels right, now. Commit, act, move, and don't stop until you create the life that sets your soul on fire. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good concept. It's not just something you practice on Thanksgiving or when life is going well. It's not a soft, gentle idea you dabble in when you have time. No, gratitude is the ultimate power play. It's the master key that unlocks the door to emotional freedom, to an unshakable state of mind, and to a life where nothing owns you, because you own your state. When you live in gratitude, you are untouchable. You can't be broken. You can't be stopped, because you've trained your mind and your heart to focus on what's working, on what's possible, and on what's already beautiful about life, no matter what's happening around you. Most people think gratitude is reactive. Something happens, something goes your way, and you feel grateful. But that's backwards. That's letting life dictate how you feel. That's weak. You can't live your life on defense, waiting for something outside you to make you feel good inside. That's not power. That's being a victim of circumstance. True gratitude is proactive. It's a decision. It's a muscle you build. It's a habit you condition until no matter what storm you're walking through, there's a place inside you that stays calm, steady, and strong. That's the power of gratitude. It's not something you wait to feel. It's something you do, something you create. And when you live from that place, you flip the game, because life stops being something you have to control. You stop trying to manage everything and everyone around you, because you realize you already have everything you need. There's a peace that shows up. There's a certainty that no matter what comes, you can handle it. And when you no longer need life to give you anything in order to feel good, that's when you're free. That's when you can truly lead. That's when you can show up with energy and strength and love, because you're not running on empty, waiting to be filled. You're already full. Gratitude turns what you have into more than enough. And that's not some poetic line, it's the truth. When you focus on what's missing, you live in scarcity. You feel like you're always chasing something. You feel like you're never enough, and life's never enough. But when you condition gratitude, you train your mind to see what's already there. You condition yourself to feel abundant, to feel rich in life, in love, in possibility. And when you live in abundance, you attract more. You think clearer, you move faster, you give more. Because you're not afraid, you're not clinging, you're not desperate, you are grounded, and that changes everything. I'm not saying life's always easy. We've all faced times where it feels like life's ripping us apart. You get hit with something you didn't expect, you lose someone, you fail, you feel like life's not fair. And in those moments, gratitude feels impossible, but that's the exact moment when gratitude becomes your greatest weapon. Because you can find something. You can always find something. You're breathing. You woke up today. You've got another shot. You've got people who love you, or maybe you've got the strength inside you to be there for yourself. And when you find that one thing, no matter how small, and you focus on it with everything you've got, something shifts. The weight lifts. It doesn't make the pain go away, but it gives you power over it. It gives you a way through it. And here's the truth. You get what you focus on. Where focus goes, energy flows. If you focus on what's wrong, what's missing, what's unfair, you'll find it. And you'll feel lousy. You'll live in a state of stress, anger, frustration, or sadness. But if you focus on what's good, what's right, what's beautiful, you'll find that too. It's all there. Both are always there. The question is, which one do you choose to focus on? Because that choice shapes your life. It shapes your emotions. It shapes your identity. And when you live in a state of gratitude, you take control of that choice. You make it automatic. You wire it into your nervous system until it's who you are. Gratitude isn't passive, it's active. It's not sitting around hoping to feel thankful. It's getting up and finding it, feeling it, expressing it. Every single day. First thing in the morning, before anything else hits you, you decide what you're grateful for. You condition it, you breathe it in, you feel it in your body. You prime yourself to live in gratitude, and you do it over and over again until it becomes your standard. Not your mood, not your fleeting thought, your standard. And when gratitude is your standard, you can lead, you can give, you can love at a level most people only dream about. Because you're not chasing anything, you're not needing, you're full. And full people give, they create, they serve, they make a difference. Gratitude unlocks that level of life, the level where you wake up excited even when it's hard. The level where you find joy in the middle of the grind. Because you're not living for some future moment to feel good. You feel good now, and from that state, you can create anything. I've seen people who have nothing, who have lost everything, live in joy because they live in gratitude. And I've seen people who have everything on the outside, the cars, the money, the success, who are miserable because they focus on what's missing. Gratitude isn't about what you have, it's about where you put your focus. It's about how you see, and when you choose to see through the lens of gratitude, you live in a beautiful state. And a beautiful state creates a beautiful life. When you're grateful, fear disappears. You can't be grateful and fearful at the same time. You can't be grateful and angry. You can't be grateful and depressed. It's impossible. Gratitude is the antidote to the suffering states, but you have to choose it. You have to make it your practice, your priority. And when you do, you don't just change your mood, you change your destiny. Gratitude will give you power in your darkest moments. It will give you clarity when things feel chaotic. It will give you joy when there's every reason to feel empty. But it's a discipline. And if you make it yours, if you condition it every single day, you'll experience a level of life most people never even taste. You'll be unstoppable, unbreakable, because you won't need anything but this moment, this breath, this life you already have. And from that place, you can build anything. So, if you're serious about developing a strong, unbreakable mindset, make gratitude your foundation, make it your practice, make it your way of life, because gratitude is the ultimate power play. It's the fuel that lights you up, the force that lifts you beyond fear and doubt, and the gift that keeps giving back to you in ways you can't even imagine. This is your moment to decide. To train your mind, to flood your body with gratitude. Not later, not when things are perfect, now, because now is all we ever have. And when you master gratitude now, you master life.